Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. So as you can see, the Ultra is Turles. The Dragon Ball Legends was gonna reveal not the family Kamehameha, thank god, because I was worried they might go another Gohan and home. Sun family would be the best team in the game again. But okay, I'll give you a high level view of his kit, and I'll also tell you according to his kit where I believe he will be placed at the meta tier list, and if he performs really well, then which units he can replace on which teams and what would be his ideal best setup. So let's go strengths. First, unique gauge excels at offense and defense. Consume 20% of the gauge, power up each arts. Plus every time the unique gauge is consumed, his health and ki will be restored, cover change will be nullified, which is great, you need it at the start. And the gauge will be charged by 70% at the start of the battle, so you will have powerful offense and defense right away. Obviously. Survivability number 2. With the stats you would expect of a defense type, 10% reduction to impact, a 10% reduction to impact, explode and pierce damage. I think the only damage he's missing is probably slash damage, and I don't think there are any meta relevant slash damage characters. And you have multiple ways to recover health, which we'll cover down right away. Turles possesses some outstanding survivability. Third, powerful blue card. Activating a blue card will seal the opponent's blue card, and if 20% of the unique gauge can be consumed, he will go type neutral on the blue card, which is again just like Ultimate Gohan's blue card basically, if you have 20% or more of the unique gauge. Significant buff after comeback. Now, if his health reaches 0, he has a comeback ability and he will remain undefeated and recover 70% health. This is the most amount of health which can be recovered after a comeback. For example, Omega Shenron. He restores, where is it? 50% health. Okay, let's look at Golden Frieza. Golden Frieza, where is he? Okay, he restores 50% health. Like, he has the most amount of health recovery, which is dumb. Yeah. After comeback activates, your unique gauge will be charged by 100%, and you'll also get damage inflicted to allies. Like, he supports 2 after you pop a comeback. Like, which is dumb, and the support will be applicable to him, and he'll also get additional damage inflicted buff, and he'll increase the cost by arts by 50 for the opponent, seal their rush, seal their main, and their vanish will be restored to 0. This is toxic. So toxic. Achieve explosive growth and dominate a force with Ultra Turles. Now his Z ability, he buffs Sagas and PO, strike and blast defense, obviously double defense. Legends somehow seems to be in love with double defense abilities. Like, if you look at all the characters released from the start of the year, GT Kid Goku, Baby, all the Sun family characters, Ultra, Super Saiyan 2, Gohan, Ultimate Gohan, this new LL3 of my Goku, I might be missing a lot more units. All of them have double defense abilities. Like, it's okay, but it doesn't really allow you to synergize with other characters well, because the damage reduces a lot if you're with a full defense Z ability team. Ultra ability is Saga from the movies, which is, I expected it to be PO, but okay, Saga from the movies campaign, Saga from the movies, alright. He has strike armors, which is toxic. The blast armor, he has a strike card which has a blast armor obviously, but it's so toxic. This is the toxic thing. 10% chance to reduce enemies Dragon Balls by 1. If it procs, you are gonna reduce the Dragon Ball by 1 on a strike cards, and the same thing is also on the blast arts. Like the strike arts, the blast arts have a chance to reduce your opponent's Dragon Balls and hit, 10% chance. This is so toxic. Imagine having the ability to reduce the enemy's Dragon Ball by 1 on hit. And I'm sure the 10% seems less, but it will proc a lot more in the game. Blue card. Seal the enemy's blue cards, we have seen. If the unique gauge is consumed, go type neutral, obviously. Massive impact damage. Following effects occur upon activation. 30% the blue card damage. Seals enemies blue card, the seal arts can reduce for 3 counts, which is again decent. UG4's blue card does a lot more. If you notice, he seals for 5 timer counts, and it seals both blue and greens, which is okay, not bad. Now, if the unique gauge is at 20% or more, you go type neutral, but you also apply yourself with this, minus 30% to enemy sustained damage, which is very good. A lot of units don't have this. This helps a lot in damage. Like, if it had 30% to additional special move damage, it would have been less than this, because this is so good, and it also cannot be cancelled. Yeah, and it has blast armor, obviously charging forward blue card. His green card is good, but not the most toxic one. Like if you'll see, you proc the green card, you draw one card, 30 key, 20% damage, very good. Reduce enemy key by 20, which it doesn't really matter much because you're probably going to use the green card either on for a stop time event or when you're comboing a unit. And you inflict all enemies with -1 to card draw speed. Now, if your unique gauge is at 20% or more, his kit has a lot of unique gauge mechanics. You consume 20% of the unique gauge, and upon activation, you increase your card draw speed at 1 level. Cannot be sacked, but it can be cancelled. Apply buff effect shorten subcount by 3. You can come in quicker. Also cannot be stacked. And effects reset after character switch, and he cancels own attribute downgrades in normal conditions, which is great. Paralysis and stuff, you'll cancel it after you use the green card. Ultimate. Consume the unique gauge and boost ultimate damage inflicted. Allies will also get a boost to damage inflicted, and their subcounts will be shortened. So you will be ready to swap in a new character and press the advantage. Again, dumb. You deal supreme impact damage. It's a supreme multiplier. Not a massive, a supreme multiplier. Applies the following effect to self upon activation. 20% damage for 3 time accounts. Nullify endurance, but all of this can be cancelled, which is it's not the best thing. If unique gauge is at 20% or more, like I said, whole kit is based around unique gauge. You get 30% more damage, which cannot be cancelled. So you have 50% damage for the ultimate just from this, and 20% additional damage for allies for 30 time accounts. And by the way, this is also applicable to him. It applies to him. And he shortens ally subcount by 10. So basically you can use the ultimate, but if let's say you use the ultimate against an Omega Shenron, you don't have any vanish, you feel he can rush you, you can just switch out instantly. Boom. Now, main ability. Recover a bunch of health and key and even restore vanish gauge by 100%. Now, this is also a very good main ability. You'll see why. You get an ultimate arts, basic, 20%, 25% health and key by 6, which is less, honestly. Like, if you see, where is his main ability? He gets 30% health. I think 30% is the baseline, but okay, 25% health because he has a comeback mechanic, which is okay, sure. He gets own vanish back by 100%. So you can vanish, pop the main, get a vanish back, and vanish again, and you can use ultimate like that. And you get -20% to sustain damage cut for 20 time accounts. It should have been cannot be cancelled because let's say you're fighting Ultimate Gohan and use the ultimate against him. This will be cancelled. Imagine if you had this, which could have been cancelled, and this. Where is it? On the blue card. -30% to... yeah, there it is. You would have done -50% to enemy sustained damage card on the blue card, which would have been, if not the most hardest, one of the most hardest hitting blue card in the game. But okay, sure. Unique ability 1. You draw a green card when you enter the battlefield, and you will also destroy an enemy's card. If the unique gauge is consumed when a strike or blast hits you, you get a buff to damage, and if it's consumed when hit by an enemy's art attack, you recover it. Basically like Omega Shenron's, but his unique gauge doesn't lock itself like Omega's does. So it can be used for both offense and defense. Now, when battle starts, charges on unique gauge by 70%, 180% damage inflicted, which is less than Ultra Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta. He has 200%. After this, 70% damage reduction, which is not a lot nowadays. We have seen 70% to K recovery, which is good. Card draw speed baseline, -10 to special move arts. He lacks one thing, which is he doesn't reduce the cost of strike and blast before popping his comeback. Like his hearts will cost 19 for strike, 29 to blast, which is not the best because even if he has key recovery, you do expect every unit to have -5, at least -5 or 3 to arts cost, but okay. And this reduces impact, explode, and PS damage by 10%. I do believe Legends will soon go to 80% damage reduction, and this will be removed from opponents' units kit. But at the moment, they're trying to make sure that they can keep 70% damage reduction and keep it at 10, and increase by an additional 10 using these methods. Yeah. Now, when you enter the battlefield, you get a green card. Activates twice. You get 30 keys, so you can use the green card or any other card instantly. 40% damage cannot be cancelled. Like I said, 220% damage inflicted. Randomly destroys one card. Now, if you have a defeated battle member, your unique gauge will charge rate will go up by 50%. Very good. Now, when you use a strike or blast, if you have 20% or more unique gauge, 20% will be consumed, and then you'll get this 15% damage for 10 time accounts, and inflict all enemies with -10 to health restoration. Now, this will be applicable until or unless you're in the battlefield. If you switch out, then you'll have to proc it again. Now as long as you're in the battlefield and you consume your unique gauge, you do 15% damage for 10 timer counts on every strike or blast and inflict them with minus 10 to health restoration on every strike or blast. So this is very good. So with each strike he'll be at 235% damage. Now when you get hit by an enemy's attack and you have 20% of a unique gauge, you consume it, you restore your health by 3% every time you get hit by an enemy's arts, and you inflict them with minus 10 to damage received from 15 timer counts, which is good for a counter attack but not baseline, something special. Unique ability 2, let's just skip this, we'll see, go back to the dumb fuckery over here. Knocks enemy to long range if a cover is performed against a strike art, strike cover change combo with the blue. Cool. Now, upon changing cover, you will consume 20% of unique gauge if you have more than that, and you inflict enemy with minus 10 to strike and blast arts power for 10 times blast. For example, let's say cover change against a blast, the strike and blast will then do minus 10% to minus 10% less damage if you have 20% of unique gauge. Now comes the comeback mechanic, which is downright one of the most, if not the most toxic mechanic in the game on this unit. This is all comeback. Now let me show you why is it toxic. You remain undefeated, obviously this is simple. You get a full hand. You get 70% health and key by 100. Full unique gauge, 25% more damage. So your baseline you have 224, let's see. You have 180 over here, 40, 220. 220% damage, 25% from here, 245. 245% damage, 20% to strike and blast arts. So your strike and blast arts will do 20% more damage upon the already 265, like, sure. Minus 5 to on strike arts. Oh sorry, to all arts. Like I said, he gets it after you pop his comeback, which is a drawback, but again, it's still good to have. Minus 5 to an arts cost. So everything will cost minus 5 less after you pop his comeback. Then you get buff effects which can be cancelled, by the way, just like UG Force. You get a buff effect, nullify as enemy destroy a card, and nullify enemy reduce key. Card protect and key protect basically for 20 counts each. Then you go type neutral defensively, permanently. You are permanent defense neutral. Do you know how dumb this is? He has 80% damage against most arts in the game. He'll be type neutral defensively, which means he's gonna be the most hardest unit to kill, I believe. But obviously it depends on the stats a lot, because if the stats don't favor him a lot, he might not be the hardest unit to kill. But he will be one of the more tankiest units. And now this is the more toxic part. 50% damage to allies. It also is applicable to him, cannot be cancelled. Now this. Reduce enemy key by 100. They have no vanish, no key, no vanish. They have no rush for 5 timer counts. All of the arts cost goes up to plus 50 basically, so even if they get their key, they won't be able to use their card because everything will be plus 59 to strike and plus 79 to blast. Like, it will be dumb. They will not be able to pop their main as it will be sealed. So I'll go to this later on. Now it cannot be used upon an enemy self-destruct, like Cyberman kills you, you will not use it. It will not activate, and on co-op or full power mode, which is not relevant enough. Okay, now his unique gauge is low. If you use ultra hit, his unique gauge is like that. Upon 140 to 132 timer counts, his unique gauge will be full if it's going up from 0 to 100%. So it will take about 40 timer counts to fill it, which is slow, I'll admit it. Now, whenever you consume your unique gauge, basically whenever you consume your unique gauge, what it means. If you consume it when you're either defensively, when you get hit, on cover chain, on strike, on green, on blue, whenever you consume it, you will restore your health by 10%. This is so dumb. Every single time you pop your unique gauge, offensively, defensively, in any situation, you will get 10% health back. Get 30 key, so you'll always have key. You nullify cover change for 10 timer counts, which is a flaw, let me tell you why. If you don't have your gauge, you will not have an ability time. If you do not have your gauge, you cannot nullify cover change, which is a bit iffy, but I think you'll always have your unique gauge. You should have your unique gauge always. And reduce enemy key by 20. Again, very good. And cancels on attribute downgrades. His own remaining health is 30% of low after the enemy attack is over. Cool. This is Now let me tell you why I believe this unit is top 5. Look at this. Very good. Let's say you're with last man standing with Turles and the opponent also has a last unit remaining. Let's say they have Gohan, last man standing, this unit last man standing. Gohan pops your comeback, what happens? He has no vanish, he has no key, he won't be able to use cards as their cost will be astronomically high. He has no main ability, he has no rush. What can he do? Eat your combo. That's the only thing he can do. You do not need to be afraid of a rush, a main ability, a blue card, a strike, or a blast. The only thing the opponent can do is tackle or switch out instantly, but in the last man case scenario, they cannot switch out. So if the opponent has one battle member remaining and you have this guy with this remaining, you've won the match. It's a guaranteed won the match ability. But there are a few units who can counter this. For example, if you're with Omega Shenron, he has his comeback ability remaining. Like he can then nullify this ability because he will have to pop the comeback of Omega Shenron, then Omega will get his vanish back. Again, brilliant. Now, another thing. Endurance won't work against this because you can pop your endurance but you can still combo Gohan for long and he'll die. With Omega, you have to stop the combo, drop combo. Now, so and this unit. This is the only unit which doesn't have a comeback which can counter this. If you have his unique gauge, the opponent will have to proc your unique gauge. Otherwise, they won't be able to do nothing. And by the time you proc his unique gauge, he cancels on attribute down kills and everything. And you're cool with it. Then it doesn't matter. Your arts cost will be normal. You get your main ability back and stuff. So yeah, this is the only unit who's immune to this shit. Like, yeah. Oh, and one more thing, if you have a rush with him, then no unit can do anything because you can just boom throw the rush. So yeah. Now where does he stand according to? Based on the initial overview, I'd have to see him in game to be sure if he's top 3, but he's top 5 on the initial build. He is top 5 at least for me. Can I see him being the best unit in the game? Maybe, maybe not. Because he won't be doing as much damage as this guy. Like he has a one hit quitter ultimate, his unique gauge is more toxic than Turles' unique gauge. So I do believe he might still be number 1, or this unit, if he performs very well on boost, specifically on boost, he might be number 1. Otherwise he will not be better than him off of the initial viewing, and even if he performs really well in the game, I believe he will be better than Ultimate Gohan. I can see it. I can see it happening. Comeback is a better endurance mechanic. UG4 Ultimate he can take really well because he has a comeback. He cannot eat it very well because if he's on standby and you throw him in for the ultimate, he's dead. If he's on standby and you throw him in for the ultimate, he'll live. Yeah. This unit, I believe, if he is good, Turles, this unit's value will take a hit. Now why? This unit's main selling point is his rush. Rush is good. His rush is a guaranteed kill. Now let's say you're fighting Omega, his rush is not a guaranteed kill anymore. If you're fighting Turles, his rush is not a guaranteed kill anymore. So which is why I do believe if he's really good, he might get dropped from a certain amount of teams because he might just outright replace him. And now his best team off of initial overview, it seems to be Turles, Omega and UG4. Yes, I do believe this can be his best team. Like these both on Fusion Warriors, they share the same pack. Fusion Warrior bench and him on leader slot. I don't think you'll win against this team. You'll have to proc 2 comebacks. This unit hits hard Omega. He really hits hard. He has 2 ultimates. He has a comeback. He gains Dragon Ball. I don't need to tell you about this unit. And on top of this unit, with the comeback, who will give you a guaranteed kill if the opponent cannot switch out in time. So yeah, I expect him to be, if he performs really well, number 2 unit in the game. Maybe be equal to UG4. I do not see him surpassing UG4. Is he a must summon? Based on his kit, he looks to be top 3 as I said. Fighting against him will be very difficult because if you have a last man standing unit which is not UG4 or a unit with a comeback or revive, I don't think it will be easy to win against him. So yeah, if you want to summon for him, you can. The problem is we might get Daima on the 11th, which is why I'm a bit hesitant to really tell you to go summon for him. He is a must summon. He'll be releasing on the 30th of September. Not today, not tomorrow, 30th of September, which is Monday. So yeah, thank you all for watching. Please like, share, subscribe, and I'll see you on the next one, and goodbye.